I'm meteorologist Carley Gomez bringing you the latest on the next storm system arriving January 2nd. Now, could these January storms be bringing in the necessary snow that we need? Well, we are quite behind as we start moving into this new year. We need a lot more snow than we're seeing. Well, they've been able to make that snow for the high Sierra spots, those resorts where they're skiing and snowboarding, just not enough to open a lot of those lifts. Now, winter weather advisory is now going into effect for Thursday as we get to 10 p.m. I should say Tuesday, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. on Thursday. That'll bring in anywhere from 8 to possibly 12 inches of snowfall, but we've seen this before where we forecast a lot of snow and then we end up with a couple of inches. Well, this system here coming in looks to be a little bit warmer, but maybe a couple more in the forecast and down the pipeline could be bringing in some colder storms. So we're going to have to wait and see. But the snow could be starting to drop down as low as 5,000 feet. So that's a decent indicator that we're getting at least some colder air moving in, especially as we start pushing through most of these winter months here. And we start seeing at least more of the season changes with colder temperatures. Now, we are looking at areas into Nevada, also seeing some of these winter weather advisories in effect until 1 a.m. All right, let's talk about the setup here. In our atmosphere, we do have high pressure just to the east, and that's shifting its way, continuing to shift east, but we are seeing that low offshore. Now, the associated cold front will be sweeping in for us mostly into your Tuesday afternoon and evening hours. Most in the bulk of the storm system here, with some of those showers will be pushing up into the Pacific Northwest, already creating a wind advisory for areas of the northwest portion of our state. We're still tapping into an atmospheric river. This is just letting you know that there's a lot of moisture out there, a lot of moisture to tap into and carry along with the low pressure system headed our way. This is why we talk about atmospheric rivers, because we want to let you know how much moisture is out there and if it could help us potentially get more of that rain and snowfall. Let's talk about the visibility in miles. Now, when we usually go between storm systems, when we get that heavy rain, then we get some clearing. This is an indicator for you, maybe at least so you can pre-plan, that we may be starting to get some foggy conditions in the overnight. And then now that the storm system is set to arrive into tomorrow morning, the clouds will roll in. A lot of that fog is going to begin lifting, and then we're going to get ready for that storm. As of really Monday night, as we get to about 9 o'clock hour here or so, you're looking at about 6 miles in visibility for Stockton with 7 in Modesto. Everyone else is looking pretty decent. Now, we've had a day to kind of clear out here, but we will start to see some of the visibility lower as we get to the early morning hours. You're looking at 6:30 a.m. on Tuesday. A lot of, again, the farmland spots seeing low visibility, but a lot of the fog is going to be centered mostly for areas down south, the San Joaquin Valley spots and toward the Central Valley. Now, Turlock, Modesto, 4 and 5 miles in visibility, but where we see the open land, that is where we're going to see some more dense and thick fog. You're seeing that between Manteca as well towards Stockton. And then finally, Sacramento, 6 miles in visibility. Could drop a little bit more, but otherwise we'll start clearing out by 10 o'clock or so. And again, the clouds begin to move in as well as we get to the mid-morning hours. Taking a look into the evening, this is your commute home for so many people. This is where we're getting a nice line of showers starting to get established here, pushing from Grass Valley, Yuba City, Sacramento, Elk Grove, Vacaville, and Fairfield around the 5 to 5:30 p.m. hour. Very heavy downpours for these zones here, especially if you have travel on 80 westbound or eastbound between Sacramento and really the Bay Area. This is where we're seeing the biggest downpours. Please be safe. Please take your time. Keep that distance from the car in front of you. We will see that line of showers continuing to push down and through most areas through the foothills and the high Sierra, shifting into snowfall as we get closer to the overnight hours around 11 p.m. By around 11, most of the valley spots along 99 and I-5 will mostly be clear of those showers unless you're from Modesto south. We'll continue to see showers. Otherwise, we're going to get a big break right there as we start moving in. And then finally, check this out. That break doesn't last long. We will continue to get one more push of showers into Wednesday morning. Now, looking at the snowfall, it continues to still move through the area as scattered snow showers around 8 a.m. Snow levels are still dropping, especially in the overnight hours as it has time to get cold overnight. But it's whether or not we get the big breaks in the clouds here, as you see, especially up high in the Sierra. If we get those breaks, we're going to see temperatures drop even further, which could help us out when it comes to creating that snowfall to actually stick on the ground and build and pile up for us. So we're really hoping to get colder air pushing through with the storm system to kind of help us out there when it comes to snowfall totals and adding up. Getting into your really evening hours overnight from Wednesday to Thursday, we could see some more fog development after that storm system has passed on through. After this one, we have one more storm to get to, and that storm expected late Friday night into Saturday. let's talk rain totals for the first storm system. We could see anywhere from about 1/10 to about an inch of rain. So areas further south moving from Tuesday to Tuesday night, not seeing as much, but they will catch up, especially for Wednesday. And then everything a little further north getting more of that rain. Now, this is just the Tuesday event, but from now Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning, we'll add up a little bit more, 1/4 inch to a little bit closer to 1.5 inches. So most areas will see closer to 1/2 inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch. That's pretty much close to the average I think most people will see. And then finally, the next storm system hopefully can give us something very similar from Friday to Saturday. Snowfall totals, though, again, I mentioned 8 to 14, 8 to 12 inches or so. What we're looking at here is continually changing numbers. Looking at the GFS model here, you can see low elevations, Forest Hill maybe getting 3 inches. But again, this looks to be, to me, a warmer system. I don't anticipate these higher snow totals. And again, this is going to be very dependent on whether or not we get colder air pushing through with the storm. Now, the higher areas near we see the gaps and the passes here could start getting about 1 foot of snow, and the highest peaks, which we don't usually encounter ourselves unless you're taking a snowboard or a lift way up there, then you may be seeing maybe 1.5 feet. So we'll again have to wait and see exactly what we get with this storm. Looking at temperatures into the foothills, those mid-50s to upper 50s and low 60s out there. Overnight lows in the mid-30s. Now, if you're headed to the Bay Area for January 2nd, you'll be looking at upper 50s and low 60s. In the really valley spots, you're seeing, again, upper 50s and low 60s. Everyone pretty much the same temperature, and that's because we're all getting the same cloud coverage, keeping our temperatures pretty much the same for the valley, foothills, and Bay Area. Through the week, we'll see temperatures right around the mid to low 50s. And average this time of year is mid-50s, so slightly below average, but overnight lows, check that out. Looks like we're going to start dropping off into the 30s.